Hi, I wanted to talk about writing. That's what I do. But it's a very common thing for seniors, for example. It's not only seniors, but certainly seniors, just because, we have more time, I think, and a lot of life to look back on. And uh, it's often that seniors want to record their life for their family, usually. And some people are more adventurous and seek to actually write a book about a portion of their life or maybe their whole life and get it published for the general public to enjoy. And part of this process too is about grieving. So if a person's in that grieving process, then one way to work out what's going on internally and sorting through what's happening and how to move forward from it is to journal. I personally am not a journaler, so I can't really speak to it from my own experience, but I do know that a lot of people find it really helpful. And some people get up in the morning, and one of the first things they do is write down their thoughts about their grieving process the day before, or whether or not they had a good night's sleep, or if they dreamt. Some people leave it more to the end of the day and talk about, how their day went and how they feel they're progressing, and memories about whatever it is that they've lost. I mean, we tend to think of grieving, of course, as losing a person in our life. And it certainly is that, but grieving is many things. It's many things that we attach our identity or our security and safety to. If that is lost, we really do need to be grieving that. And there is a process to grieving. And in the early stages, of course, we're just reeling with the intensity of the event, but eventually that subsides and the pain of it subsides, and we tend to get our brain back because we've been in brain fog for a while. But really, journaling and writing does help that process because it helps us get out of our head and put down on paper or in our computer or our phone the things that we're thinking about. And it does help to ease the pressure, I would say. Um, and I guess I particularly wanted to talk about memoirs because it's something that many seniors do. And I'm going to share my screen. Hopefully, this is going to work out because I wanted to share with you some of the work that my mother did. And she wrote two versions of her life for her daughters. She certainly had talked about things in her life, but not that much. And so when she retired and her daughters had been asking her about, tell us more about your life experience. So she wrote it out and bound it up and sent it off to each one of us, or four of us. And then I think the daughters had more questions, as I think, yeah, it's probably fairly common. So she wrote a second version, I think a year or two later, and bound it up a little more specially and sent it on to us. And the writing, I guess, that I do, I come by it naturally, comes from my mother. And in her retirement, she often wrote a lot of poetry too, and she would share them with her seniors group, and they published a newsletter, and they would put her poetry in the newsletter from time to time. And she gathered all those poems up too and put them together in a book and sent that separately to each of us. And so, that's a real treasure. My mother's gone now. She's been gone, I'm going to say 12 years. And it is a treasure for the daughters to look back on and kind of share in mom's life. So here we go. Let's see if my screen share works. Cathy is looking for her screen share tool. Hmm. I don't know. Oh, here we go. I don't know. It was staring me in the face and I couldn't see for looking. All right. Screen share. I don't know what you can see. I'm going to do a slide from the beginning. So hopefully you can see this. So um, this, she first did her book in 1987, and it was fairly short, Love, Mom. And then she redid it in 93, and she bound it a little better. It was bigger, actually. It was a lot more stories about her young life and her married life. And her second one had chapters. Her first one didn't. It was just it had chapters, but she didn't do an index. And as you can see, it's just typed. It's nothing fancy. It was certainly before the days of computers. I think she did have a computer in her building, but she didn't really worry about using it. And then she did a little collection of her poems and did a little smiley face. So somebody must have helped her with that because I don't think she really had the computer skills for that. But so that was really fun. And this is one of the poems which you can't read, and there was no way for me to get it a little more readable. But see, now I have to get it. I have to get it. Oh, that's my book. Sorry. So I wrote my own memoir, and this is the cover this is for the front cover. And it's really from a poem that I wrote after the last time I saw my oncologist in 2018, the end of 2018. And yeah, I think I shared that in a previous stop share. There we go. Okay, here I am back again. I don't know if I'm going to edit that or just let it happen because I am not a techie person. I just kind of do these videos and hope that you don't get bored with them before I finish. um, okay, so that's a little bit about memoirs. I belong to a writers group here in BC, British Columbia, and many of the members are seniors, and many of them are writing memoirs, and some of them are very exciting. Some of them have been on trips around the world and talk about those, and some of them have had very challenging young lives and challenging adult lives, and they talk about those pieces as well. And I think a lot of them are meant for public publication at some stage. And actually, they write many other things too. They write children's stories and animal stories and all kinds of things. It's just a really wonderful time of creativity in our senior years, just because we have a lot to talk about. and and some of us need a little more help than others in terms of getting it into story form. And some just, want to share with the family, and others want to share with the world. And either way, I think it's a wonderful ambition in our senior years after retirement. And I know some people work on these things as in their free hours after their working life. So that's a little bit about writing and memoirs and sharing your life and your wisdom and your experience with the world. Have a wonderful day.